Yo, Americans, I've got a question for you guys. Why are you guys so obsessed with tipping? I mean, over here in the UK, like, it's not even really that big of a deal. We don't really do it here. It's like, you guys got to tip everywhere. I mean, you got to tip at restaurants, you got to tip the DoorDash driver, you got to tip the person that makes your coffee. Yo, even self-checkouts are asking for tips these days. Like, what? Wait, what does a self-checkout need a tip for? Listen, how about you guys just stop violating my wallet? How about that? And what's crazy to me is that you're looked at as a bad person and people will get upset at you, especially the workers, for not leaving a tip. Like, I'm sorry, why am I the bad guy because I didn't just give you extra money? Why am I an asshole because I paid the amount of money that you asked me to pay? Look, I always thought that tipping was a choice, right? You know, let's say you're at a restaurant, you're happy with the service, and you just want to show a bit of appreciation. So you give them some extra money just as a gift, an optional gift. But now it's like it's freaking mandatory or something. Like, why am I giving out extra money for no reason? Like, what if I'm just not happy with your service? Like, what if your service was just trash? Because like I said, tipping is only done when I'm happy with your service. You don't get to decide or dictate to me whether or not I'm happy with your service. Like, I think it's kind of stupid for people to just expect to be tipped. Because I feel like my attitude would be like, if I get one, great, I'll be grateful. But if I don't, it's like, you know, it is what it is. It's not like anyone owes it to me. And I already know what I'm gonna have people saying in the comments. They're gonna be like, oh, but you know, these people are underpaid. You know, they're working really like stressful jobs. I'm just like, bro, that's like 80% of people nowadays. Listen, everyone has worked a crappy job at some point. Why is it my job to pay your salary? Like, if your boss is an arsehole and he's not paying you enough, like, yo, why are you complaining to me? Complain to him or her. Women can be assholes too. Like, I've never understood this logic that like the customer has to pay extra because your boss is being stingy. Like, it makes no sense, because if you're putting all the pressure on the customer, then the boss has no incentive to actually pay you properly. Like, he's gonna keep hogging all the profits while we basically do his job for him. No, but some of these bosses are actually just horrible people. Like, there's a special place in hell for these bosses, man. Because I remember this one time I was talking to this girl who like used to work at a bar, and she was telling me about how the boss would make everybody put the tips in a jar, and he would basically take like 90% of the tips, so they didn't even get any. And apparently, if one of the workers got a tip from a customer and they didn't put it in the jar, like, they get in trouble for it. So what's the point in tipping if the boss can just rig the system? And also, you guys talking about you're underpaid. Okay, what if I'm underpaid? You ever think of that? Right, again, leave me alone and go complain to your boss. Now, do you know what I've noticed? In all the videos I've seen about stuff like this, the workers who complain the most are always the ones who either do the bare minimum or they're just downright rude. As soon as they don't get what they want, they just start crashing out on you. Like, all of the politeness, all of the good service, it just completely disappears. See, and that's how you know it was fake. They just wanted to manipulate you into giving them extra money. I'm onto your game, okay? But you know what's crazy? In places like Japan, it's actually considered rude to leave a tip. But when I went to Japan, I got the best service of my entire life. In every restaurant I went into, in the hotel, everybody was just giving good service just for the sake of it. And nobody, not a single person, wanted a tip. They just took pride in their work. And I feel like that's how it is with a lot of things. I feel like the best people are the ones who, they just do it, man. And then those are the people who like, they end up just getting good things coming their way anyway. Like, it's kind of weird, like whether or not you want to call it like God, like the universe, or whatever you call it. I feel like that kind of mentality, that kind of attitude just brings good things towards you. Okay, now I've been yapping for a bit about like why I don't want to leave tips, but let me tell you a situation where I would leave a tip. I feel like if there's a restaurant that I go to like regularly that I really like, you know, you kind of get to, I feel like when you go to a place enough times, you kind of get to know the staff a little bit, you know, they get to know you a little bit, everybody's kind of familiar with each other, then, you know, you can't, if you got a little bit of extra cash, yeah, why not? You know, start leaving tips. Also, you know, it will give you a good reputation around the restaurant as well. They'll like you. They'll probably put more effort into cooking your food. And also, there's the fact that if you go there a lot and they know you, and you kind of get known as the guy who doesn't tip, you're probably gonna get your food spat in. So yeah. But anyway, guys, that was my little rant on tipping. If you enjoyed it for whatever reason, I don't know, if you made it to the end, like, good on you. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and yeah, I'm done.